This is study session 6 of NSA 305, Human Behavior in Health and Illness. This study session is based on the basic nature of groups and development. Mostly, large groups have high level of complexity not apparent in small groups. They have their own various subgroups, distinct subsystems or groups, diversity of leadership styles, as well as levels of communication. The purpose of this study session is to help the students understand how groups function and their effects on the experience of individual group members. It also focuses on group dynamics, leadership skills, group norms, interpersonal relationships, and communication as relating to the nursing practice. When you have studied this session, you should be able to define group dynamics and interpersonal relationship, explain the term leadership skill, and lastly discuss decision-making process in group communication. Group dynamics and interpersonal relationship. Group dynamics can be defined as the theoretical and practical exploration of groups which have a structure of mutual contact and communication. It furthermore refers to all social, psychological phenomena and rules that appears to a group. In most cases, groups provide a supportive space for social participation and exchange amongst its members, and each organization consists of a number of groups whose members are related by formal or informal relationships, and all of whom pursue common goals. Norms as an internal function. In day-to-day life, whether at school, work, or during leisure times, certain individuals generally respect various norms, rules, and laws in order to adapt themselves to the group in which they belong. Norms are rules or behavioral models that are established and accepted by individuals who belong to the same culture or group. Therefore, to find out what norms a group has adopted, it is important to ask questions about its core values, conduct, and practices. Since norm would usually reflect the group's values, they may express the nature of interpersonal relations promoted among members or with non-members, and even define the skills required by each individual in order to accomplish specific tasks in the group. The roles and purpose of norms includes: 1. To help the group reach its objectives. 2. To foster relationship among members and internal group cohesion. 3. To help members gain a better understanding of their experiences. And last but not the least is to allow members to identify those who do not respect the rules enforced in the group. External functioning or intergroup relations. Relationship between groups can raise a sense of social value and provide advantages for communities, but can also serve to separate certain groups or their members by demoting relationship based on preconception, discrimination, and conflict. External functioning has to do with the relationship between a group and another, that is interpersonal relationship, while partnership is a relationship between the workers and executives. It is an agreement between two parties for achieving mutual benefit. It has been suggested that partnership is based on mutual trust and respect, is based on a joint vision for the future and the means to achieve it. It is also based on continuous exchange of information. It is based on recognition of the central role of collective bargaining, and lastly, on the devolved decision-making amidst some other factors. Formal and informal group. While formal groups are intentionally formed for specific projects, to serve predefined goals with specific roles and duties imposed by the organizational structure, informal groups, on the contrary, are formed naturally due to the sociality that characterizes human nature. The characteristics of the group, either formal or informal, which should be systematically created, are the consistency of the group and the compliance of the members of the group to its standards. The consistency of the group is more of we as opposed to I. referring to the extent to which the members of a group wish to stay in the team. Effect of group norms on individuals. In everyday life, each individual develops a unique and personal way of facing situations and people. An individual's decision may be shaped by participation in group life and the internalization of rules that may exist in the group. It is important to understand that becoming a member of a group and adopting its rules and practices changes an individual's view of the world in different ways. A group's ability to assert its influence over a member may vary depending on the individual and group in question. And a person who decides to become a member of a group must of necessity adapt to life in the group by subscribing to its values, norms, and beliefs. The three processes through which individuals adapt their behavior to group norms are acquiescence, internalization, and identification. They are acquiescence, internalization, and identification. Leadership skill. Leadership is defined as a process of social influence by which an individual is able to solicit and obtain the participation of group members in performing a common task. A person who has this power to influence others is called the leader. Acting as the leader of a group means that this person has authority and responsibilities that differ from those of the other members. Thus, the status of a group leader is unique, since he or she may influence or control interactions among members, encourage others to quickly adopt his or her ideas, make decisions on behalf of the group, or even impose sanctions or punish members who do not contribute to accomplishing a particular task. Each group seeks specific qualities in its leaders. The behaviors and attributes wanted in a leader are extremely specific and leave little space for any form of personal expression. The person who assumes the leadership position must therefore remain effective or risk losing his or her position. The leader may, however, be allowed to modify the group's requirements and reconfigure the leader's role based on his or her personality and skills. When members recognize the unique quality of their leader, his or her influence on the members can increase over time. Qualities of a leader. Although it is difficult to recognize qualities particular to a leader, certain characteristics are often linked with leaders who are able to maintain the control of a group. The ability to create emotional ties with group and members. That is the first quality of a leader. Effective leaders often have the ability to quickly forge friendships with group members and tend to favor warm interpersonal relationships. 2. The ability to structure the group. Leaders tend to be creative in their methods of managing the group and intergroup relations. Number 3, the ability to promote production. Leaders favor a task-oriented approach and succeed in motivating members to pursue related goals. Number 4, the ability to show kindness. Leaders are or appear to be tolerant and compassionate when conflicts arise among a group. Generally, the role of a leader varies from one group to the other. To understand the full scope of a leader's power in a group, it is important to perceive, amidst other things, his or her ability to make decisions on behalf of the entire group, as well as his or her power to impose sanctions on group members. Group communication. In a group, each member becomes experienced in the language used and understand the cultural references engaged by co-workers or co-members. Participants in groups usually share common linguistic keys which allows them to understand each other. Two members from different groups can have difficulty understanding each other, even though they speak the same language, because the meaning attributed to certain words can vary from one group to another. Furthermore, cultural differences such as norms and ideas on life obstruct smooth communication and language comprehension between members of different groups. Sharing a common language, however, enables members of the same groups to understand each other and create an additional bond uniting them. This is the end of this study session. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you for listening.